Hello everyone, this is ShamaParveen, Assistant Professor in Information Technology from Sethu Institute of Technology. So today we are going to see about cloud computing and what are all the analysis of cloud computing, its advantages and disadvantages, and also its service and deployment. So first of all, we have to know what is cloud computing. So it's nothing but a service which offers the customers to work over the internet. So storing and accessing the data and program over the internet rather than the computer's hard disk. So everything will be dependent only on the internet. So it can be explained with the help of a simple example. So suppose we want to travel anywhere. So rather than having a own car, we can have a rental taxi. So it will be very cheap because having a own car, it may be expensive. So maintenance of the car is also expensive, putting the fuel, so it may be making more cost. So whereas when we are using some rental taxi, so we will be using just as pay as you go. So pay as you go is the main concept in the cloud service management. So it can also be said as pay as you go or pay per use. So the total concept of cloud computing will be based on pay per use or pay as you go. So only when you are using, you are going to pay. Otherwise, you won't be paying. That's the simple thing we have to understand about. So next we can say that it is very cost efficient. So it nullifies the need for an enterprise to make the larger investments. So we don't need to have a larger investment on the servers or hardware storages. So we are going to pay only when we are going to use. So we don't want to have some major servers or major hardware storages. We don't need. So the user concentrate only on the job while leaving the problems behind. So they don't need to deal with the problems behind it. So they can concentrate simply on the job. Effective focus on the business. So the organization need not get bothered about the technical problems. So they don't want to have any issues on the backup or the storage. They don't want to have to deal with the technical problems. So they can focus only effectively on the business. So next we can say that it is very highly flexible. So highly flexible in the sense we can add or we can decrease any type of computers or any number of servers. So we can easily add the number of servers or number of computers at any time. So we can say it is more scalable. We can also say it as more flexible. So the employees can use smartphones or laptops and notebooks to have the files access easily. So next we can say about the common characteristics as massive scale, resilient computing, homogeneity, geographic distribution, virtualization, service orientation, low cost software and advanced security. So massive scale in the sense we can have n number of computers or n number of servers, anything. And resilient computing in the sense, so the number of resources are already allocated, so it is pre-configured, it will be working anytime anywhere. Homogeneity in the sense it will be working in same manner. Geographical distribution, it can be working anywhere at any place. So virtualization, it totally usage of a single instance of resources among multiple users. So next we know about service orientation, low cost software and advanced security. So it will be more secure. So next we have to know how to select the right cloud service provider. So first of all, we have to see the company's certification and standards and what are all the technologies they are using and how is their service roadmap and how they are providing the security, their governance, their business policies, and mainly service level agreement. SLA is nothing but service level agreement. So we have to mainly concentrate on that type. So how they are providing the agreement. Next is about migration support. In case we are going to switch on different types of cloud, they should be supporting. For example, we are switching from public to private cloud means they should be able to support at the time. So next is about business health and company profile. So all these things need to be considered when we are going to pick up a cloud service provider. So next we have to know about the advantages and the features of cloud computing. So first of all, we can say that the features of cloud computing is resource pooling, on-demand self-service, easy maintenance, large network access, availability, automatic system, economical, security, pay as you go, measure service. So these are all said to be the futures of cloud computing. So we know about what is resource pooling, that is the sharing of the resources among the multiple users or servers. So everything are said to be the futures of cloud computing. So mainly we can say that pay as you go. So pay as you go, only we will pay for the usage. So next, what are all the disadvantages of cloud computing also we have to know. So what are all the disadvantages means first comes the internet connectivity. So all the time we have to have a network connectivity. Second is lower bandwidth disadvantage means in case of if there is lower bandwidth it may not be supporting. And next the speed may get affected when we are using more usage of cloud means it may be affecting the speed. Next thing is the security issues. So in case of public clouds and all, we can't guarantee some security. So that thing has to be considered. Next is agreement. There is a service level agreement. In case of poor service level agreement, the usage not be more sufficient. Next is lack of support and variation in cost. So these are all the disadvantages of cloud computing. So next we are going to see about the cloud computing models. So cloud computing models, it may be classified into two. First is a service model, next is a deployment model. So cloud deployment model, we have four types of deployment model. So first one is public cloud, second is private cloud, and third is hybrid cloud, and fourth one is community cloud. So these are all the four types of deployment model. So deployment model, it will be based upon the requirement of the organization. So it depends upon the organization. Some organization may be using private and someone may be using public. So it depends upon the need. So it is very important. You have to choose the model that will satisfy the need of your organization. So public cloud. First one is the public cloud. So public cloud is nothing but the computing service offered by third-party providers over the public internet. So it may be available to anyone. They can be purchasing just by usage we may be purchasing. So it may be free or it may be sold on demand. It allows the customers to pay only per usage. So the pay per usage may be depending upon the number of CPU cycles, storage, or the bandwidth they consume. So depending upon how they are using, they are going to pay. So public clouds, it saves the company from the expensive cost. So it is cheap. Actually, all the four clouds, public cloud is said to be very cheap. So it avoids expense. Public clouds, it can save the companies from the expensive cost of having to purchase, manage, and maintain. So it is easy to maintain. So cloud service provider is totally responsible for the maintenance and the management. So it can be deployed faster. So these are all the examples of public cloud. So iCloud, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Service, Alibaba Cloud, and IBM Cloud. So public clouds are highly flexible. So as I have already said, it is pay as you go concept or pay as you use, and it can be maintained and monitored by cloud service providers. So advantages of public clouds can be said as it is lower cost, no maintenance, unlimited scalability, and high reliability. So lower cost means you don't need to purchase some hardware or software. So you are going to pay only for the service. No maintenance means the cloud service provider is totally responsible for the maintenance. So unlimited scalability means so on demand you may be able to add or delete some resources. High reliability in the sense a vast network of service ensures against failure. So since there may be no chances of failure, it is said to be highly reliable. Next one comes the private cloud. So private cloud, it is the cloud which provides a distinct, secure, and flexible cloud model. So it can be used only by a single company or organization. So private cloud is mostly used by a single company or an organization. So mainly it can be used in the context of infrastructure as a service. Next are the features of private cloud computing. So features include economic, reliable, secure, control and data security. So compared to public cloud, private cloud is said to be more secure because in case of cost, it may be expensive because it may be using several protocols for security. So we can say that private cloud is more secure than public cloud and it is used by the single organization. So next we can compare the public cloud and the private cloud. So in public cloud, publicly shared virtualized resources. So the resources may be shared by more number of users. Whereas in private cloud, it is only shared by in privately shared virtualized resources. So it can support multiple customers in case of public, whereas in private, clusters of dedicated customers. So only the single organization may be using. It supports internet connectivity. Here in private, it connectivity over the internet, fiber and a private network. Okay. So next, suited for less confidential info. As I have already said, security is less in public cloud, whereas in private cloud, security is more. So next comes the hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is nothing but the combination of the private cloud and the public cloud. So in some cases, the organization may be using a private cloud and in some cases the organization may be using the public cloud. So we can say the best example for hybrid cloud in case of banks. So as I have said, it is nothing but the combination of the private cloud and the public cloud. So it can share the workload between the two clouds, which make it more flexible. So next, what are all the challenges in the hybrid cloud computing we have to know. So connectivity issues may come, service level agreements may differ because since we are using two types of cloud in a single type, there may be some connectivity issues and service level agreements also differ. So we have to use a proper tool in order to use the hybrid cloud computing. So proper skill, code and programs should be used in case of hybrid cloud. So next, what are all the benefits of hybrid cloud? We can say it as economical, secure, flexible and scalable. So next comes the community cloud. So community cloud is nothing but a cloud which is used by the same community with the same concerns. So organization having the similar computing concerns and having the shared interest can use this type of cloud computing. So the examples may be said as some research organization, some business organization, for example, a shoe company. Several shoe companies may have some common cloud that can be said as community cloud. So what are all the benefits of community cloud is nothing but improved service, secure and compliance, available and reliable, flexibility and scalability. So that's about the cloud deployment models. Next comes the service models. So here X stands for everything as a service. Everything as a service. So there are three types of service models. First comes IaaS. I stands for infrastructure, A as a service. PaaS means platform as a service. P is for platform, A as a service. S stands for software, A as a service, software as a service. So these are the three main types of service models, IaaS, PaaS and SaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So these are all the some examples of the services. For example, IaaS is offered by Amazon EC2, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud and University of Auckland. So these are the some examples of IaaS providers. And PaaS providers, Amazon Web Service, Windows Azure, and software as a service providers examples are Facebook, Zoom, Windows Live. So everything comes under software as a service. Next, So infrastructure as a service, it may be providing virtual machines, servers, storage and networks. So if they are providing these types of services. So they are providing servers, they are providing storage, they are providing networks, means it comes under infrastructure as a service. Next is a platform as a service. So platform as a service, if it is providing some kinds of databases, some kinds of web server and some deployment. So totally, if it depending upon development, it can be said as platform as a service. So next is software as a service. For example, the totally developed software if they are providing, for example, CRM, email, games, like that. If they are providing that type of service, means they are called as software as a service. So simply we can say software as a service as a application based. So we can say IaaS as a host and PaaS as a build and SaaS as a consume. So software as a service can also be said as hosted software. So license on the subscription basis and centrally host. So we can say the example for software as a service, ERP, payroll and Photoshop, like that we can say it as a software as a service. So the consumer does not manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure, including network servers, operating systems, and storage. So these are all the examples of some software as a service products. So infrastructure as a service, it may be providing processing, storage, networks, and the consumers can deploy and run on an arbitrary software. So IaaS examples may be Amazon Web Service, EC2, Rackspace, Google Compute Engine. So these are all some examples. So platform as a service, it provides the customers a platform to develop, to build, to run, test and manage the applications. So by using this platform as a service, the coding time may be reduced. So these are all some examples of platform as a service. So that's all about cloud service models. Thank you.